And happy Saturday for everyone out there joining us at facebook.com/live reality games. We have a super special podcast here today. We're joined by four members of four great live reality games production companies out there. And we're just really getting to know about the casting applications. 2020 has been a year of very limited outdoor social events. Exactly. And we're definitely ready to get started in the process of casting for 2021. Some great events that are coming up. We have Shane here from the Penthouse. Shane, how are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm excited to talk about this and cover everything and looking forward to the new year.
In addition, we have Jason from Survivor, Angelica.
Hey guys, a little cold up here in New York, but we're doing good.
And then we have Matthew from Mayhem Manor.
Hey everyone, I'm so excited to talk about Mayhem Manor, talk about the casting process, and just talk about all the exciting things to come. So I'm so glad to be here. Woo!
And then last but not least, we are joined once again by Brandon from Can You Survive?
Hello. So happy to be back and to talk about the Can You Survive charity event's first season and all the casting and all that. But yeah.
So for the folks watching at home on YouTube or on Facebook, definitely get those comments rolling. Definitely ask your questions about the casting, about the game, so on and so forth. We have first shout out for Shane. It looks like Derek is tuning in. Shane in the Penthouse. So
Hi, Derek.
Good shout out. That's cute.
So before we dive into these games and actually the casting process, the fans at home, it's really nice just to get to know who you guys all are. So Shane, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, how did you get started in this community real quick?
So interesting enough, I fell in love with reality TV right after I had graduated from high school. I didn't really follow any of it up until then, which was back in 2014, the summer of 2014. And I started with Big Brother 16. That was the first season reality TV show that I ever watched. And it kind of snowballed from there. I kind of fell in love with Survivor and The Amazing Race and all these other shows. And then here I am now working in reality TV. I've worked on Brother, I've worked on Love Island, and I've worked on a couple other shows. So now kind of integrating myself into the live reality game community and getting to play last season of the Penthouse, which was formerly known as the Totem Pole, season 3. It was such an interesting experience, and now I'm kind of pushing myself into the live reality game community and working in the casting area and aspect of the future of the Penthouse. So I'm super excited to go forward from here and see what happens.
Now, Jason, your story of how you got started kind of is reminiscent about me, Kirk, and our kind of company that we do. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so my involvement actually started, I was casted for one of the early on seasons of Survivor Angelica. There were people walking around with clipboards and notepads and camera, like handheld cameras with video of previous seasons. And they were walking around a festival local to the Rochester area called the East End Festival. And what is this? I was like, Survivor. Okay, sure, I'll check it out, and it looked like a lot of fun. Everybody in the videos looked great. So I said, sure, I want to do it. So I went onto their show, their game, and had no idea what to expect. I was a big fan of Survivor. I loved Survivor. I'd always wanted to be on the real deal. So it was like, this is a great opportunity. I went on that season with them and crushed it and then won. And it was just one of those, all right, this is so cool. And then I got to see a lot of what they did behind the scenes on how the game was made and just said, this is something really cool. This is a hidden gem here. And I want to be part of it because it's just the energy level and everything that they did was so positive, and the relationships I made, which I think is something that a lot of us kind of push to the side. We get so amped up about live reality in these games and shows, but there's so much more to it. And there's so many layers of friendships and relationships and drama and all sorts of just exciting things that happen that they make an impact on your life. And for me, it was a bad time in my life. I was going through some troubles and some bad things. And this was just that moment that kickstarted my life in a whole different direction. So for me, it's a very sentimental thing for Survivor Angelica, and I got involved on the crew. I also participated a few more times. I actually won twice, which was a crazy thing. I still have a nice second time around win, which was, I don't think anybody expected it.
Come on, win.
But now I've gone on and helped with camera, with producing, hosting. I really enjoy the hosting aspect. It's stressful, but it really is a lot of fun. And so they started it out a few years before I had played, just as a fun thing on a camping trip. And it was like, well, let's do this. And it was like a 2-day event. And then it turned into a 3-day event. And it was just very basic backyard games. And now it's to the point where we decipher every challenge we can find. And not even just on Survivor. We find other challenges and other team building event type challenges that we find that we kind of decipher and twist into implementing into our event and our game. And it's really, for us, we haven't been into this live reality community very much. This is our first real exposure. We've kind of been tucked away, hidden in the woods, and nobody's really known about it. So I'm really excited to share what we do and get out there. It's a fun event, and I'm really glad that I've met everybody that I've met so far along the way, and I can't wait to see what else is out there.
And thanks for joining us. We also are joined by Matthew. Matthew, a little bit about how you started with Aunt Jackie's Productions and so on and so forth.
Sure. So the founder of Aunt Jackie Productions, Neville, he's one of my closest friends. He's always been a reality TV fanatic. He used to host mini games at his own house and had this vision of just doing that kind of, but with his own flavor, his own twist. So eventually he got to the point where he decided he was a part of the org community, and he also brought me in and saw how many of the people playing orgs really just wanted to try out, for themselves, to have live reality experience. Not everyone gets to get on Big Brother. Not everyone gets to get on Survivor. And so Neville saw this vision of, why not be able to have that experience? You might not get the, the $1 million at the end, but you at least will get this experience to strategize, to backstab, and to really, really have a really fun time. And so I, as a therapist, I'm always talking to people. I'm always just, analyzing things. I got brought on for the casting team. And so my role is to, well, first, of course, for safety, assess for any safety issues from anyone that we bring on. And then honestly, it's just having conversations about like who you are, what makes you tick. Are you a strategist? Are you are you a wallflower? Really, what makes someone, would I want to work with you? That's what I would want to see. Am I someone that wouldn't work with you? And if so, then maybe that's someone that I want to bring on. But, just being in the org community and being brought on due to my background of mental health, really, really, we were just to make sure that not only are we a very inclusive live reality game, because our cast, our production team is mostly Black folks or people of color, and we want to make sure that we are capturing as many people as we can with our project. And so there was a lot of personal value to our project and to Neville and his vision. And so I really got involved because of my background and just my experience in the org community. And so I was really grateful to get this opportunity. And I'm so excited to meet new people and interview people. Unfortunately, I have to chop some people, but it is what it is. And I'm just really, really grateful for this experience.
And we're thankful for having you here today. It's so fun to watch the live events when they go on, as a follower myself. So
Yes.
Lastly, we have Brandon from Can You Survive? Brandon, how did you get involved into this live reality gaming community here?
Well, I started hosting an online game called Can You Survive 10 years ago, I think. So it's been going on for a very long time. So I've hosted online, and then I played a live game in the summer of 2019, Surviving Maine, and I loved it. Like, everything about it was just so much fun, and I was like, I want to do this. And so finally now I'm starting to shift my online game to the live reality game aspect. So this summer is like the first time I'm doing it. So I'm kind of like going through this whole thing by myself and just learning everything that I need to do. So yeah, I'm just kind of like winging it at this point and just learning it as I go and figuring everything out. I've been building all the challenges in my basement. Yeah, it's been fun. I'm excited.
And it's looking great. So we'll get to some pictures and stuff of Can You Survive here pretty soon. But so I brought a little slideshow with us today. I know the folks at home that are watching on the podcast, maybe on Spotify or whatnot, can't really see it. So make sure you join us at facebook.com/live reality games or also on our YouTube channel. And you can see all the information. This slideshow will be available for anybody that wants the information after this podcast. So you can go on and check out the websites, click the links, and just go on from there. So for everyone watching at home, thanks again for tuning in. We are covering 2021 casting for live reality games. Let's see here. Just a shout out for next week calendar of events. We have a huge list as usual. Sunday, just in a day, we have a podcast for Survivor Maryland. One of the following ones, Sequester comes out, new episode. Special podcast on Monday about the Amazing Hunt. First time talking to Bill and that production team. Super excited for that. Sequester podcast. And then I'm on the Survivor Boston team covering that. Super great season. Philly is in there. Syracuse is wrapping up one of the first parts of the finale. So make sure you check that out. Survivor Boston, Survival Challenge, just everything. And of course, special thanks to everyone here with us today. One thing missing on this calendar, which will be updated, we do have a special podcast of episode 9 of Survivor BC Deus Ex Machina 2. But the reason we're here is all these wonderful people. Wonderful people, I say, and my picture it shows up as well, I guess. So, but we are here with Brandon, Shane, Matthew, and Jason. We'll be covering, like I said, the casting for 2021 live reality games. I see the comments coming in, so thanks so much. Naomi, one of our podcasters, well, she's tuning in. We have Tevin. Tevin is joining us too. It looks like he's tagging a few friends to join in on this conversation, so thank you. Let's see here. First up, we'll be talking about the Penthouse. We're gonna go like this. Shane, tell us a little bit about the Penthouse.
All right, so the Penthouse is such an interesting game. I had never seen anything like it, and that's kind of what drew me into wanting to play on season 3 and apply for season 3, because the format is so dynamic and different compared to a lot of the reality shows that we know and love. And so getting to play and be in front of the camera this time around was so interesting and so unique. And so now being behind the camera once again, just like my usual daily life and working in reality TV, I now get the opportunity to work on the casting team as a casting manager for season 4 of the Penthouse. So we're looking for all types of new people, fresh characters, cool strategies, and just the coolest of people, because the cast for season 3 was so unique and dynamic, and I want to continue that for going forward on the show. And so with the applications that we've been getting, it's been so exciting to see the types of people we could have on season 4. So it's kind of like putting these different types of people together and see how they all work, play the game, make this game come to life. It's going to be so unique, so interesting. It's so thrilling.
Let's run through these quick stats here. So, of course, the Penthouse. It's not a typical like Big Brother, Survivor kind of game. It's kind of like an original, isn't it?
It's very original. I think Wesley, the creator, originally found or kind of heard the idea from Big Brother when players were talking about when the show was called The Totem Pole, saying, "Oh, I feel like I'm on the bottom of the totem pole. I feel like I'm going home." And it struck in his brain like, "Oh, that's a really good game show idea." And he kind of built it together while he was in college and put it together, played a whole bunch of times on his college campus, and now here we are on YouTube, changed into the Penthouse and going into our 4th season being filmed. So it's crazy how this original idea did spark from something that we know and love, such as a show like Big Brother.
Naomi has a question out there. She's wondering, what does own show mean? Winning the Penthouse means you get $500 cash prize, it looks like. And then your own show. What does own show mean?
So I was on season 3, and it was a very similar prize. I'm assuming it's the same prize because this is what Wesley is offering to the winner. But I don't want to spoil the winner from season 3 if anyone's watching who hasn't watched season 3. But the winner got a spin-off show, which I would assume is what's happening again with season 4. And it's just covering, I think, more behind the scenes, kind of their journey in the live reality game community and stuff like that. And just kind of getting to know the person themselves as like, just not a game player 100%. You're getting to know the person. And so I think it's going to be a spin-off show of the winner, and kind of diving into who they are more than how they played the game and stuff like that, getting to know the winner.
Gotcha. Naomi says, love it.
Awesome.
One thing I want to talk about of the Penthouse, and similar to Mayhem Manor, so we'll pop Matthew in here in just a moment. So what's it like, you two, doing a game instead of doing like a Survivor outdoor kind of thing? You get to have this amazing house. Penthouse was very nice right on the lake. And then Mayhem Manor, you had an amazing house with all these kinds of games. Matthew, how is it working on location in a place like that?
Well, it's like you're walking in. Have you seen, like Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory? It's like I am like just amazed by the artmanship and just the live Candyland board and the swimming pool that's in shape of an ice cream cone. Working on it's such a big site that being there, it is literally a vacation. It is an experience, and just to be able to travel to literally a mansion and be able to just meet all these other people and experience the many attractions that comes with the house, it makes the experience that much better. It's like, yes, we're competing for the cash prize. We're doing what we have to do. But at the same time, I can kick back, relax, and have fun and really enjoy my time. And just, also if you get sent home early, a lot of times people are just kind of sad and just moping around. You get to still enjoy your time there, so you really get your bang for your buck. So being on site is really nice. The technology is great. We are able to provide food for our guests. We're able to provide, drinks for our guests and just lodging. So many amenities that come with the mansion in itself. It makes it as if you are truly living like a reality game experience. You're being taken care of, and you're being able to do that while also having a amazing fun time. So it's great being on site. Y'all too can apply too if y'all want to. Y'all
Thank you.
Come on. So look,
it's definitely a little bit different than surviving out in the woods like a traditional Survivor event. So I really like the mix of guests and events we have here today, and it's really great. Now, when Wes was on a little bit earlier talking about the change of the Penthouse, he dropped a little bit of a secret. He said something about multiple locations. Anything like a big candy board, huge Willy Wonka thing in the Penthouse in the future, Shane, perhaps?
I don't know. Maybe we'll see. We're filming in May, so we're not too far away from this. But no, realistically, we don't have anything compared to Mayhem Manor, like a mansion or something like this. But we do have multiple locations that we're filming at in Hot Springs, Arkansas, that we're very fortunate to be filming at. And so I think with this whole rebrand and everything going into season 4 and having multiple locations to film at, it's going to be so unique and such a different experience than season 3 and past seasons as well, because we're kind of all compact into this one house and eliminated players as well. But now we have different houses for different things, challenges, eliminated players. Maybe there's other shows coming from this. Who knows? There's a lot we can do with multiple houses. So it's exciting.
What's also exciting is the progression. Derek mentions it's so interesting to see how the evolution of games has gone. Definitely from starting on season 1, and contestants were literally on just this huge staircase in the middle of the woods, and now you have a whole penthouse. So
yeah, it's mind-boggling to think like I didn't have any influence on season 1 or season 2. Like I wasn't like I had no say or connection to it then. So just to see it progress from season 1 and filming at the location it did to now going into season 4 with multiple locations, it shows me that I've kind of stepped into a show and we're going places, and I'm excited to see what we can do in the future. And so it's very exciting.
I have a little extra on the slideshow here. Matthew, we'll talk to you more in just a moment. Shane, explain, looks like the Penthouse, it's really big on YouTube, isn't it? That's usually where kind of the episodes get released and you have a big fan base there. Is that correct?
That's very correct. So we film our episodes or our show beforehand, obviously, and then these episodes are edited and released weekly. So with season 3 of the Penthouse or the Totem Pole, we filmed actually last year in 2020, end of February, early March, and then those episodes started coming out. I believe it was in like July or August weekly, and so it was like Totem Tuesdays. But now we got to figure something else out for the Penthouse. But that's where our episodes are released on YouTube. So if you want to watch season 4, we will be filming in May. So episodes will probably come out a couple months after that once they're all edited and polished up. But yeah, if you want to follow and watch season 4, it'll be at the Penthouse on YouTube.
Fantastic. Another one of these events that does a few of the episodes here. Jason, if you can talk a little bit about how you do your episodes as well.
Yeah, so we have a multitude of camera people that get different footage. A couple of the team members, they go through all of the footage and try to, mash up what they can. And originally we would make one, this is years ago, it was just a DVD. And we would have a viewing party because most of ours were local participants to the New York area. So we could have a viewing party. We still do the viewing party, but they would show up, we'd watch the DVD and kind of go through things and have talking points and things like that. To now where we've evolved into releasing episodes similar to the Penthouse, where we do like a weekly episode. Usually, sometimes we do 2 episodes depending on the footage or how things go or the time of year that we release the footage. If there's holidays and things like that, we work around it. So yeah, now our things go on YouTube, similar to that. And we also post them to Facebook and our website so that we have a broad range of being able to gather our viewers.
Very cool. Shane, I want to give you one final pitch for the Penthouse here. Why should people go out for the Penthouse?
So the reason I wanted to join this team and specifically the casting team for the Penthouse was because I see in real reality TV shows like Big Brother, Survivor, The Amazing Race, all these other shows, they do lack diversity a lot of the time, and they hopefully will continue to push for that going into the future. But with a show like The Penthouse, we have the opportunity to handpick our cast, and make it diverse. Season 1, 2, and 3 have all been very diverse, and there's so many different relatable characters and different personalities, and it's not just the same cookie cutter people that you see on all these shows. So to me, it's very important that there is inclusion and diversity, and that you can be represented by someone and feel a connection to these players. And so the people that we're picking are people you don't typically see on a reality TV show. They're not the cookie cutter, I guess, personality or like body figure that people look for. It's like we want to know who you are. If you can tell a story, if you're interesting, if you have a cool, unique strategy, like that's what we're looking for. And so if you have wanted to play a live reality game and haven't felt included, please come apply for the show. Our goal is to make everyone feel welcome, feel included, and have fun. Like, it's a live reality game. It's nothing too serious, but it is very important that everyone feels included. And that's just coming from me as a person, like, it's very important as well.
It is. And for everyone that does want to apply, facebook.com/group/LRG casting. It's kind of the housing place for all the applications here. Now we're going to welcome back Jason from Survivor Angelica. We'll talk about that here. There we are. Jason, tell us a little bit about Angelica here.
Sure. So Angelica, we actually got our name Angelica because of where we host it. It's in Angelica, New York. We do it at a campground. We rent out some cabins They're not the most luxurious. So it is basically like camping in the woods. It's a struggle. But there is a little bit of luxury to it. We do it. It's a Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. It's basically just like Survivor. We run challenges, we run the tribal councils, and we work our way down to, our final, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, depending on how we decide to do the season. And then ultimately a winner is chosen, and they have a $500 cash prize. If there's money left over from production costs and things like that, sometimes we'll roll that into the prize, so it can be more. Obviously, we do record the episodes and release that on Facebook, YouTube, and our website. We run it just like Survivor. We say that it's 39 hours instead of 39 days. So it's something that's been going on since roughly about 2002. We started off very small. It was just friends and family, coworkers type thing, to now it expanded into going to festivals and online and just trying to recruit people. And so, much to like what everybody has mentioned before, that it's an experience for somebody that they want to see what it's like to be, just to go out and try for a live reality show. And we try to do our best to make sure that it's inclusive, it's welcoming, but it's also something where you're going to have the time of your life. You're going to remember it. You're going to build relationships and friendships over it. Survivor can be cutthroat, but from what I've seen out of the years I've been involved, nobody has ever gone away with a bad taste in their mouth. Everybody enjoys it and understands that when you enter, it's a game. When the game is on, the game is on, and it's you just got to go.
Now, someone that's also played some of these live games before, Brandon had an experience in a Survivor game as well. Brandon, how was that? And talk about, Jason mentioned those bonds that you do gain in these events.
Oh my God, yeah. I've only played one live game a couple years ago, and I went in just assuming, I'm gonna be like the super strategic cutthroat player, and I don't care about any of the people, whatever. And I still talk to a lot of the casts now. Some of them are going to be volunteering for my event. So yeah, like I got way close with the people in the cast. It's so weird how close you can get to people when you're sleeping outside in the freezing cold with strangers. How quickly you have to like get along with each other. Yeah, it was such a unique experience that I didn't go in thinking I was gonna like become friends with everybody. And when the episodes come out, you will see I cry a lot. And
The tears of joy only, correct?
Obviously, tears.
Yeah, of course.
The emotions definitely hit hard. I think that's something that a lot of people they look at it and say, well, how can you do this in just a few days when these people are on these shows for weeks or months at a time and pull off what they do? And it's amazing, the roller coaster of emotions that happen, and the relationships and the bonds and the way things the whole up and down roller coaster of the event of things. It's really unreal to look at it and say, wow, we can make this happen in just a weekend. So
especially after talking to the Penthouse and of course Mayhem Manor, they're more geared towards maybe like a vacation or like I would say an easier living condition, as opposed to the two of the events you have here for Survivor Angelica and Can You Survive. You're definitely more of the, I'm going to get my mental fortitude and like live out in the woods for a period. So that's super exciting to see the differentiating aspects of those.
Yep.
All right, Brandon, we'll check back in with you in a little bit here. And then Jason, we had a question from one of our viewers here.
Sure.
Derek wants to know, is there any application deadline for Survivor Angelica?
So one of the good things about us is we are continually casting. So we'll take our cast and create it for a season, but we will always pool up everybody that enters. So our website, we have a pre-registration where we ask you just a few basic questions. You fill those questions out, and somebody's going to reply to you via email and eventually get your contact information. We do phone interviews when we really get down to selecting our cast for a certain season. And just like it was mentioned before for the Penthouse, we look for a whole plethora of characters. It's not just necessarily your cut and dry type cookie cutter type characters or cast people. we want to make it diverse. We want to make it interesting. We want somebody that may be very, extroverted and introverted in the whole realm of people that we want to, have a cornucopia of us, people. But we will take casting applications all the time, and you may not make this season, but we will keep you in mind for another season. There are people that have applied and they just didn't really fit what we were looking for a certain season. But we will always reach out and say, hey, we're thinking of you for this next season. Would you be interested still in trying out for this one? And we'll do another phone interview again if we have to, and try to touch base, because things change, people's lives change. So we always try to kind of re-up things. So that's kind of something new that we're doing in the last few years, just because we have so many people applying now that we have that opportunity. Whereas before it was kind of a, really struggle to find people. And now we're at that point. So you can go to our website. There's a pre-registration a little bit further down on the page. You fill that out and somebody will get a hold of you. And we'll go from there.
Yep, I did bring up the kind of like the cover page of your website here. It gives some information, and it also shares a few things that you also do. Looks like you do a few other things on the side.
Yeah, so we have a lot of fun with these. I don't know what everybody else's tune is, but for us, we just have an affinity for live reality and for games and fun. And for us, it's a lot of the costs associated with it. So for Survivor, it's $125. That goes into covering challenge production, apparel, renting the cabins out, prize money, and even the crew puts in our own money. This is really just it's for fun for us. So we also got into doing our version of the Mole called the Weasel. We do team building events. We do murder mysteries, detective type events. And we try to utilize the same area in Angelica, New York. The campground's been great with us. It's a very wooded area. There's a lot of you really are secluded, and it feels like you're in the middle of nowhere. And
now, you said campground. Are we camping in cabins, or are we actually like legit camping, like putting two logs together and camping under that?
We can't. It varies by season. I can't give away too much. There are cabins involved. Obviously, we have a Ponderosa where everybody gets to go that's voted out in Survivor, and they get to hang out, and there's all sorts of wonderful food. Otherwise, don't expect to eat much or have any luxuries to that nature. We are in a wooded area, and there are cabins there. They may not always be utilized. It may be something such as a lean-to or a tent or a shelter. But you will definitely feel the elements. This particular area of New York State, the weather there is hit or miss. It could be 40 degrees in July and raining and just cold and dreary. We've had snow in the early fall.
Oh, so no.
It is not pleasant. It is not forgiving. And yeah, bring your boots.
Now, another team that does some additional information, Aunt Jackie's does a different one besides Mayhem Manor. Matthew, can you talk a little bit about the things that Aunt Jackie also does besides Mayhem?
Sure. So Aunt Jackie Productions is they do multiple things. Event planning, which is kind of how they even got linked to working with Mayhem Manor. They also are a private bartending service. So if someone is having a party, someone's needing some folks to come and, serve drinks to people and just, carry the party, Aunt Jackie Productions does that too. And so by combining the event planning and the bartending services, or just party production also, you combine that to get, a specific and unique experience with Mayhem Manor. So we really love making people have fun and making people, have different experiences. And so being able to pull from that also really adds to, our ability to put so much more into our product. So, yeah.
Yeah. Now, from my screen, I did see Brandon had a very positive reaction to that bartending service, and then Shane as well. I think this is something we all can look at in the future of these live reality games.
Yeah. What do you charge?
If you would like to know the information, we can definitely, message on the side, and I'll definitely get you those fees in terms of specific bartending services.
Now, the Penthouse, especially, I think, Shane, maybe we need a bartender on staff, right?
You're probably not wrong. I might need to talk to Wesley about that.
And Brandon, I think there's some way we can get drinking involved, right? Can you survive, right?
Totally. Yeah.
does the team take Flint or a bottle of whiskey?
Or-
You know,
Yeah, there you go.
I'm going for the whiskey.
That's often offered up as rewards and things like that. We even do sometimes an auction, and we'll offer beverages of sorts, and it's amazing to see what people actually do. Sometimes they choose that, sometimes they don't. But it's always a fun distraction to have in there to see what people are going to go with.
well, fantastic. Let's bring it back to Survivor Angelica just here for a moment. Last pitch, Jason. Like, why should people apply for Angelica?
Well, we are a very, I call us a hidden gem. Not a lot of people know about us. We're in central New York, western New York, whatever you want to call it. We've been doing this since roughly 2002. We've really honed in on the game. We have a lot of great challenges where we custom build things and fabricate things based off of our interpretations of what we see on Survivor on the show. We have a very different approach to things, and we try to really make it a friendly, welcoming, just atmosphere for everybody. And it's for all ages. And we get that a lot is how old can somebody be? And, is too old, it's for everybody. We've had people in their 50s and 60s play. We've had people in their, late teens. We try now to keep it above, 18, but, we'll make exceptions. We've actually, thought about doing younger versions too, just to see, what, high school age kids, if they want to do some sort of a retreat. But it's a lot of fun. You're going to walk away with a lifetime of memories and friendships. And to me, in this day and age, with the way things are going, we need something that's fun and exciting and just to stir the pot. And I know COVID has been a nightmare. And we, even with, our event being in August, we're still a little nervous about COVID, but we're going to do our best. And I don't know if anybody's touched on their protocols, but we're gonna do some things just to make sure that everybody's safe and protected. And really, I think that anybody coming into this event is really going to want to make sure that they're protecting themselves and others around them. I think we're all on the same page now. So, but even still, we'll make sure to lay down some outlines of what we expect and what we hope to see people do. So
absolutely, Matthew can probably talk a little bit about that before we transition over to Mayhem Manor. You at Aunt Jackie's, you did have an event, and you did take some really strict precautions and had some really nice guidelines in place. How was that experience for you at that time?
Right. We definitely understood that due to the pandemic, due to the circumstance, players still wanting to play, we needed to make sure that safety was, definitely at the forefront. So, making sure that actually what we first did was we did advise people to get COVID tests. COVID tested and provide results in order for us to know that, they could be cleared to, play in the game. We also, as upon arrival, we were doing temperature checks. We are also actually, I thought was pretty cool. Everyone got a sticker and it said, are you a hugger? Are you a pounder? Are you a 6 feet of distancer? And so we were even able to really, really first, really speak to people's own comfortability and being able to be surrounded by folks. Anytime that, we were on, while the game was being played, masks were, advised to be worn. We just wanted to make sure that we understand that, we are the largest pretty much reality game happening. We know how many people are actually in the house, and we want to make sure that we try and be as safe as possible. So we definitely wanted to make sure that we abided by the guidelines, that were being, told to us in order to, limit the spread. So being able to have this game and, be successful in having the game, not having any safety issues even come up. It really truly spoke to if you plan, you can actually execute something really well. And so it really worked out the way we handled it.
Yeah, you spoke to having one of the largest casts, especially. I tried to do a cast assessment, 40 people in less than an hour with 4, of course, correspondents. Whew, it was a quick shout out to some people, but especially let's talk about the event here, Mayhem Manor, Space Jam, for instance. Mayhem Manor, what is it, Matthew?
Right. So basically, like we said, it's a huge estate. It's a huge, manor, as we say. But what makes reality TV fun? The drama, the mayhem, the excitement. And so we said, well, why not call it Mayhem Manor? It truly encompasses the environment you'll be in, while in many different ways. So Mayhem Manor was kind of what we called the game. And now with Space Jam, we love nostalgia. We love, everyone loves, the story of, the villain basketball team versus, Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny. And it's this clash of the Titans. And that is literally what we want to see in our players. We definitely want people that are going to play the game. Space Jam is, literally a basketball game. We want people that are going to play. We want people that are not going to be afraid to get in someone's face, not going to be afraid to, rally votes, not be afraid to call someone out. That is what makes good gameplay. That is what makes people want to engage in these games. And so that pretty much was the thought process of pretty much, the Mayhem Manor and then the specific Space Jam theme.
Now, everyone watching and seeing the slideshow, yes, I left a little bit of information out because I don't know that myself. So I'm interested to see. You have a slated date of October this year. Is that correct?
Yes. The actual dates are October 8th through the 11th, that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's over the weekend. So people, can call out of work, do what you got to do, and just, get to the event. And so, yeah, October 8th through the 11th are the actual dates of the event.
Now, we kind of talked a little bit earlier. This is kind of more like a vacation one. This is not necessarily Can You Survive, like you're in the woods or anything. So what's the cost with this?
Yeah, I wanted to actually, what I didn't mention yet was during our last season, we actually introduced what is called a Roughing It package, where basically, if you really want to get the experience of being out in the wilderness, babe, you can bring your own tent to the function. And you know why? Because you're still getting all the amenities, and you are also, what is it like to sleep outside in a tent? Is that gonna help your game? Is it gonna, is that gonna hurt your game? So we actually do have elements of not actually only sleeping in the, the grand resort, the mansion, but people often, people are able to bring their own actual tent and supplies to, partake in the Roughing It package. We actually have both. We have if you want to choose luxury, or you can choose, I'm going to rough it. And
I saw Brandon in the backstage just cracking up. Brandon, do we think this is pretty much comparative of Can You Survive and the Roughing It package per se?
I loved it. Like, I would totally choose the Roughing It package. That's so fun.
It's very popular.
It's such a cool idea. Like, why live inside when you can live outside?
Right. And you can have people coming in a little tent and strategize. It's like a whole nother hub that you have, So it's about how do you even use it, right? So I agree. I probably, would I do the Roughing It package? Man, I would probably be in the house. No shit. I'd be in the house in the bed. I'll let the players, be outside. But I'll definitely be inside. But yeah, it's a really great experience.
Now, Shane, you've had some experience on what was the totem pole before, now the Penthouse. Does this Roughing It package sound fun to you, or just in general? We'll get Jason on here too. Shane, would you want to go spend a week out in the woods or say?
Honestly, I would love to. I used to go camping all the time as a kid, so it kind of brings that old memory back, I guess you could say. And I haven't been camping in forever, so it would absolutely be an option for me.
Now, just an overall question for everyone. So, show of hands, I guess, and we can say vocally for the people watching on the podcast, who has gone camping before, like in a tent camping? Me, Shane, everyone but Matthew. Oh, Matthew.
I feel like when I was like maybe 11, that's the last time you know what? People try not to say this, but I go to Coachella every year, and I camped at Coachella. It ain't in the woods, but I had to put up a tent. I had to get my own food. I had to, survive. So that's the closest. Let's call it glamping, actually. So that's pretty much the closest I've been to camping, to be honest.
Yeah. Now, to expand on that, has anybody gone camping without a tent?
Oh,
myself included, Survivor.
Well, I mean,
camping without a tent. Is that
without a tent? Like you get a tarp or something. So no, that's Shane is a hard no on that one.
Oh, I would do it, but I've never done it.
Okay. Well, cool. Let's jump back into Mayhem here just for a moment and talk more about like the Aunt Jackie production side of things. Just in general, like this house was amazing that you had last year, and the house this year coming up should be amazing as well from the pictures and stuff. So that's super fun.
Right. So I noticed that, we did kind of leave some of the things blank about, the cost and, the prize. I definitely still wanted to, speak to that. In terms of the actual cost, it is $500. And, some people might say, oh, that's expensive. However, you're literally paying for so many different things, from transportation to and from the airport. You're a 3-night stay, light refreshments, dining experiences, Mayhem Manor merchandise, and then, Mayhem Manor water bottles, and then overall a chance to win $600. $500 sounds like, to get all that sounds like a deal to me. And it's probably why, honestly, we always have a full cast. People understand what they're putting their money into. You are literally getting your bang for your buck. You're able to have this, you can make it what you want. If you want to come there and, be the best gamer you can and win that money, great. If you want to come there and just, do what you want to do, just joke around, have fun, but still get to meet people and have this experience, it's really great. And so that's the cost. And honestly, we also understand that, it is a pandemic. We also offer a payment plan. A lot of times that even helps offset the cost if we are able to help our players, meet them halfway, are able to really get them, into the game. And so we really are able to even provide a payment plans also, which I really think adds to just how much we really want to care about the people playing. And so, like it says on here, our video is, we like to live stream. We like to, see things on the go, even uploading videos of competitions. And so that's pretty much been, the flow of things in terms of for Mayhem Manor and Aunt Jackie Productions.
Having been one of those audience members watching from home, it's really fun just to see who you're rooting for and how the game's progressing. When you have to go to work or stuff and you come back and you're like, oh, thank goodness this person's still in the game, and you kind of watch the live stream back and kind of follow along. And we have a few questions from people. Derek would like to know, is Michael Jordan going to perhaps making an appearance, or maybe not this year?
Well, Derek, unfortunately, you're going to have to apply, my friend, in order to find out if we have the budget for Michael Jordan. So I think that's a great question. And if you really want to find out the answer, tune in to season 4 of Mayhem Manor Space Jam.
I like that. He does have a follow-up too. The original format of Mayhem Manor is not traditionally like a Big Brother game, not a Survivor, nothing really. Can you just go over the format just real quick?
Yeah, sure. So it combines really a lot of elements. Our first season, it was duos. You had a partner throughout the entire game, and we're actually now moving towards more of it's an original format in terms of, the twists and how people are made. A lot of times it can be compared to maybe, the challenge, and because we have people, you're not getting voted out of the game. You have to battle to get out of the game. And we wanted to make sure that, a lot of times people are in control of their destiny. And if you have what it takes to really, win comps and win your way out of a battle arena match and back into the game, then, that's a really great thing that can really happen. But so in terms of the format, we even last year, on day one, it was a twist where, before that they were used to being in duos. However, we dropped the twist. We're doing big teams of 4, and they were like, what the fuck, oh my god, and they were screaming and going off, because they had to quickly pick out 4 team captains and pick out 4 different, get in their teams. And so our format is always changing, and so I'm very excited for you all to see what we have in store for season 4.
Absolutely. And we kind of talked a little bit about the other stuff that you've done, like Shady Survivor Live. Episodes are on YouTube, so people can watch that out. And I just wanted to throw that picture in. Remind me, it was the first boot of last season, but it looks like she is having a fantastic time. Yeah.
And that's exactly what I said. Sometimes first boot, you can either take that as, I got out first, or I could be the first one in the hot tub. The next day, I can relax. If you get voted out, you're still experiencing the experience. We even in our twists or games, sometimes we do even bring, eliminated players to, add to different elements of the game. We just want to make sure that everyone is, they paid the money. Everyone deserves, everyone has a equal, just moving pieces in this product and in this actual game. And so, from first boot to last boot, you can still have a lot of fun.
Now, real quick, Mayhem Manor is sharing a little bit of secret information here.
No.
We have an exclusive.
Mhm.
So I've been told to upload these 3 pictures
Yeah.
here.
So, let me do a little introduction before, because I'm not sure if the viewers saw, there was a little preview, little blip, but so this, like we said before, like everyone says, not everyone can get on Big Brother, not everyone can get on Survivor, but you know what we said? Why don't we just bring Big Brother to us? And so this season is very different, because we actually have reality stars, that are actually coming to play the game again. There are people that are still very a part of the org community and doing other live games. And in order, just the fact that there are people that believe in our product, that believe in our game, willing to, even they've experienced what we all really want to, or just we've been watching the entire time. And now we are able to bring certain people in to enjoy our experience. And so I would love to introduce, one of our reality star players of this year is from actually Big Brother 11, and his name is Ronnie. As you can see, beautiful artmanship done. He is really posing with this basketball Space Jam theme. It's so awesome. I'm so excited to see Ronnie play. I'm so excited to see, now that everyone knows that he'll be there, how will this change? Are you going to work with Ronnie? Are you going to target him? Who knows? But just having him, adding his experience to our experience, we're so excited, really, really excited for that. And so just being able to, pull from things that we have dreamed of, it's really, really amazing. And so another person that we're bringing on, as I said, our casting and our direction in terms of who plays the game is very, very, we're going to have newbies and vets every single season. And so basically we decided that in terms of the newbies, we really want to make sure that these are people that, that, like you said, are go-getters, or people that aren't just going to, sit around, people that are going to play the game. And so one person that we are bringing on this season, you may know her from many live games, you may know her from other orgs, but I would love to introduce Peaches to everyone. As you can see here, holding her fan, letting these people know that, she's not having it. She's holding her basketball. And so, just the lovely, the Peaches that we are so excited to have you on our season. I'm excited to see you play. We'll, like we said, it's always a mixture of newbies and vets. Will Peaches stick with the newbies? Will Peaches go with the vets? Who knows? So I'm so excited to really, really see how people come into the game and what decisions they make to make it to the end. And then finally, like we said, we want to bring some people back. We want to make sure that ultimately, one thing I also want to say is that we are so blessed in the fact that our cast has no issues with diversity. Actually, we are always able to pull people, always applying, people of color, women, any very, very, just very vast, various identities. We are very lucky that we are able to touch on the different diversity and inclusion in terms of just our casting process. So so grateful that in my casting process, I'm never thinking, oh no, we don't have enough. I'm thinking, wow, we have so much, and how great is that we can pull from that. And so with this person, he's played before, he's played in other live games. He's definitely an orger, but I know him very well as Dewan. He is someone, as you can see, he is holding up his wrestling belt. He is here to win. Will, once again, as a vet, what's he going to do? Is he going to go with Peaches? Or maybe he thinks, well, damn, Ronnie knows he's been in this thing before. I'm going to go work with him this time. So there's so many different strategies and choices that people can really do. And I'm so excited to see how this all plays out. And in terms of casting, our applications are always open, which is another great thing. And we often have alternates. Fun fact, the season 1 winner was an alternate. That means that even if you didn't get in the past, keep trying. And it is about fit, it is about size, and it ultimately is about, let us know why we should bring you on. What are you willing to do? what are you willing to do to win this cash prize? And the people that I connect with, and they're like, whoa, I want to learn more about you, and you're expressive and many different qualities you have, is exactly what I want to see. So I'm really excited just about the casting process and how I get to do that.
And in general, we had a lot of fan reactions from people on YouTube. Kirk says, OMG, Dewan.
Yeah.
And Derek says, oh, he played with Ronnie once. So that was really cool in an org. And then, oh, yes, Peaches. Oh, yes.
Okay. Y'all got fans out here. Hence the fan in her photo. Check it. So that's amazing.
But let's see. Speaking of playing orgs and stuff, Brandon, you used to host an org, and now you've translated it to this online reality game into a live game. So that's super exciting. We actually had a question earlier from Derek. Derek wonders, how was it switching from doing an online game and moving it over to a live game?
Well, I don't know yet. This is the first season, so we will see. So far, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, when I started Can You Survive, it was an alias game. It was on AOL Instant Messenger. It was a long time ago, and then it shifted to Skype when that became a bigger thing. So it's gone through a lot of different phases over the last decade that I've been hosting it. So this is just like the next phase. So it's I started it learning as I went, and now I'm just again learning a new thing as I go. So far it's been a lot more work, obviously, but just as much fun. So I'm excited to continue learning how to do it and figuring it all out as I go.
Very cool. And it's very cool to see that people tune in that may have had a little bit of reality game experience playing the online games, just like Derek said, with Ronnie. So that's super exciting to see. Before we get to Can You Survive, I want to bring it back to Matthew one last time and kind of go over the Mayhem thing one more time, just like a final pitch and just an overall view of like what Mayhem is for you.
Sure. So like we said, we are the largest reality game out right now. Just that alone is going to give you an experience like no other. We are able to provide you, with many amenities. We're able to provide you with an experience. We're able to provide you with the space to truly test test what you got. Really test if you have what it takes to take home the $600 cash prize. Are you, and it's so important that within our game, as I said before, we do make sure that we're not, our goal isn't to be at the forefront of diversity. We just produce that. And we think it starts from the top end. Like I said, our production team is very, made up of mostly Black folks and people of color, which allows us to definitely have feelers out for other people, other folks of color and other folks who, that's who we actually aren't seeing as much on reality TV shows. And so, like I said, I'm so blessed that we are able to we don't struggle in that area, and we are able to just bring in many different types of people, international players. Fun fact also, one of our first boots from season 1 was from Australia. It's like he flew all the way out there to be first boot. Ooh, I'd be mad, but you know what? I bet you he's probably going to come back and apply again, because that's just how that should speak volumes. We got people flying in from across the country. We have people, that we view as idols and people that we look up to playing our game. And it's so dope that we are able to, once again, provide this experience for many other people that, they want to be that person that they see on TV, and they get to experience it. They get to have so much fun, and they truly get to win that cash money in the end. So who wants the money, baby? What you going to do to get it?
Exactly. You mentioned Australia briefly. Australia is actually one of our biggest crowds of live reality games. The people at Backyard Survivor, people at like Melbourne Survivor, Liz, Kyle, Brian, they do a fantastic job. So if anybody wants to do anything international, definitely look into what they are producing. It's really fantastic stuff. We do have a question for everyone here from the audience. Let's see here. Where did it go? Justin tuned in, and he wonders, for all these games, we'll just start in order. Matthew, Shane, Jason, and then Brandon. Did you folks have people cast for the 2020 events that you had to schedule? And if so, will any of that be auto cast for 2021? Matthew?
Yeah, we definitely, like we said, due to it being a pandemic, we wanted to definitely honor the people that, some people chose not to participate, some people did. People were able to definitely, people just be able to, if they wanted to play in another season, we definitely want to, honor that you've already put the commitment in. And so, yes, there are people that we were able to shift around and move to future seasons due to them really, really wanting, to play, and they really believe in our game. And so yes, people that were not able to participate this year are definitely, front runners to participate in upcoming seasons. And that's why it's so important that, we definitely respond to the pandemic appropriately, but we also want to make sure that we are honoring our players. So yes, we definitely do shift players depending on whether or not they could make it due to the pandemic and things. And I'm really excited to see those people come back in order to, fight for the crown when they really didn't get that chance.
Shane, was it pretty similar to you? Did you have a cast going in 2020 and then have to reschedule with them?
We actually got very lucky with season 3. I was on season 3 and we filmed end of February, early March. So it was right when COVID really came into the US. And I think Wes even talked about this last week when he was on here. We were literally in the middle of filming and he got a notification that there was a first couple cases here in the US. So lucky for us, we finished up with season 3. We filmed it all and then we all went home. We were all safe and sound, no issues. And so the episodes came out a couple months later. So with season 4, we did have to push season 4 back a couple months because we originally had it planned for earlier this year, or probably February. But now we didn't have any other events technically planned for 2020 for the Penthouse. So we didn't really have any cast or anything set up. We opened casting, I think, in September after the finale of season 3. But in the meantime, since we did have to push everything back with filming for season 4, we moved a lot of our game online, and we did a lot of minis, and we're still doing a lot of minis now with the Penthouse format and everything. So it's been really exciting to bring in this org community as well to this live reality game structure and have a lot of fresh faces now that are kind of integrating themselves into our community. So it's been really interesting to see. And yeah, with COVID, it does suck that we've had to push things back, but it's better we all keep each other safe and go forward being safe.
Absolutely. Jason, did you have contestants already cast for 2020 and have to push them back?
Yeah, we had our full cast selected, and it caused some hurdles just because we had people coming from across the border in Canada. We had people coming from Texas, down south, in the Northeast region is usually where we get most of our participants, New York and the Northeast. So we had them from everywhere. And so it became a nightmare with the pandemic. So we tried to push our dates out. We originally were going to run the first weekend of June, and we pushed it out. I believe it was to August, maybe September. I can't remember now, but it wasn't feasible. It wasn't going to happen. And even if we were to have people tested, it seemed like too much too soon. And you could feel the stress. I mean, you talk to people on the phone and you could just tell they were very unsure of where things were going. And there was a very uneasy feeling. So we ultimately decided, let's just hold off. We'll wait till 2021 and really hope for the best. And so we offered all of those casting positions available to the 2021 cast. A majority of those had came through. We had a few back out because they still think that, this August is still a little too soon. So we'll allow them to come back in a future season. We'll definitely reconnect with them. Not a problem because they have made the cast. They did make it. So we can't just tell them no now. So, we'll honor that. We have no problems doing that. And, we'll fill some spots. And we do have, I think it was mentioned before, we have some alternate positions available too. And I know people are asking about casting. So we do have some alternate spots available if people want. And that's something else that is another conversation we had. If people contact us and just say, hey, we don't want to necessarily be this cast on this season, but we would love to be an alternate. Sure. Let us know. Just shoot us a message on an email or even on our registration page, and we can do that too. And one of the things that was mentioned before, Matthew mentioned it, and for Survivor Angelica, we've had a very hard time finding diversity. We've been able to get into the gay community a lot. That seems to be something that we've broadened our horizons on. But for the minority community, the Black community, really anything other than what we've been doing has been hard. And I don't know what we can do differently. But if anybody's watching, and they really want to give Survivor a try, please apply, because we really want diversity and really want to make it different. And we have a hard time with that. Even women, we have a hard time finding that too. So we're really open to anything. And, casting for 2021, we've got a few spots open. 2022, we're already trying to kind of get the gears rolling, because it takes us a long time, roughly 9 to 10 months to plan for that. So we have a season planned, but we really need to start planning for another season already. So we really encourage anybody to apply, and we would love to see, a really diverse crowd. It would really mean the world to me personally, just because I think that that's the avenue that we want to go, and I want to go and see it go, and we just haven't been able to get there. And I hope that this podcast can kind of kick us into that gear and really, really show what we're about, because we're about, being inclusive and being welcoming, and really showing that this is in a way, it's a family event. It really is. So I'd love to see more.
Yeah, I guess our next question does go to Brandon. However, I know in this instance, like, this is your first time playing this game, so it's not really necessarily like a reschedule of people for the autocast. So actually, let's just jump into your game right here. I know we did have a complete coverage of the introduction of your game, which is super exciting. So we'll just go over it briefly. Anybody that wants to tune into the actual podcast for Can You Survive, you can look that up on our Facebook page, facebook.com/live-reality-games, or check out the YouTube at Live Reality Games LRG and search for Can You Survive charity event. So just going over the event here for the people tuning in for the casting process. How do you apply? Like, how is this different than the other things mentioned here today?
So our applications are open until February 28th. So they're still open for a little over a month. It's super easy to apply. It takes like 5 minutes. It's just filling out some basic information, and there's an option to either submit a video or do an interview. Everyone has chosen interview. Who would do a video if you don't have to? So just do an interview, and then you can talk to me for 45 minutes. We've done quite a few so far, and I've loved so many people. So yeah, it's super easy.
Now, what's something different about this one? I know I don't have it listed what the prize is per se, but this one's super special. What's the prize in Can You Survive?
Okay, so when you apply for a charity that you want to play for. So when you are competing, you'll be playing for your specific charity that you want to donate money to, and then the winner gets $1,000 towards that charity that they were playing for. So everyone's competing for a charity that they care about, rather than me just saying, oh, you're playing for one that I like. So yeah, that's kind of what makes it different and stand out from a lot of other ones. Yeah.
And we kind of talked, we're actually surviving out in the woods, so you'll be a little bit more rustic than, say, like a Penthouse or a Mayhem kind of thing. That's for sure. Maybe on the same gauge as Angelica, maybe a little bit more rustic, I have a feeling. So
yes, he also rented out. I call it a campground because I don't know what else to call it. It's from Airbnb, and it's just a piece of land. So there's no one else camping on there. But you are.
For those watching at home, there's a picture in the bottom left right here. It looks amazing. Looks super nice.
I'm so excited. I haven't actually seen it in person yet. I'm going to see it once the snow goes away. But I'm so excited. It's a huge piece of property. There's, as you can see, a huge pond that is supposedly a swimming pond. So we will see when we get there if it is actually a swimming pond. But yeah, I'm so excited. There's no cabins. There's nothing like that. So it is roughing it in the woods.
Well, that sounds super exciting. And all the dates and stuff is right on the Facebook. And like I said before, all this slideshow will be available for everyone to view at home. We're just going to bring everyone back here for a little wind down here. just want to say thank you to everyone that has tuned in so far. Derek, tons of great questions. Tevin, thank you for bringing people on. Naomi, thank you for asking all those good questions as well. Kirk, it looks like Kirk may be a first-time Survivor player, and he may be interested. Kirk, I don't know if that's actually true, that you're maybe a first-time player or not. But Justin, thank you again. Kirk, I think we've seen you. I think there's a Survivor BC episode coming out pretty soon. So a few quick questions from the people at home still. In general, Kirk wants to know the most rustic. Would you think Angelica or maybe Can You Survive is the most rustic? So I'm going to guess not Mayhem or the Penthouse. Most rustic. Just throwing that out.
Yeah, we live in real pretty over here.
Yeah.
I would think Can You Survive might be rustic based on those photos that you have. Our campground does have a pond, actually 2 ponds on location. I can't really just get into if we're allowed to use those or not. That's kind of privy to the cast. When you get there, you'll find out. But like I said, there are cabins on site for ours, so it's rustic and you're definitely in the elements, but you also have the means to escape if need be. And we obviously have a Ponderosa cabin where people that are voted off get to go and stay and obviously enjoy and watch the rest of the game and actually help out the crew too, which is kind of nice. We usually try to involve everybody so they're not just sitting around; they can actually get involved in some of the challenges and things like that. But I would say, Can You Survive? You looks like you're out there. I mean, a piece of land is about as raw as it gets.
Yeah, ours is just going to be a piece of land. We're even going to be roughing it. There's no shower on property, so it's completely just in the middle of the main woods. So I'm going to be living in a tent. The rest of production is going to be in a tent. There's no electricity. So I'd say ours is pretty rough.
But as we recall, Can You Survive is the charity event here. So you're doing this for a great cause, for whatever you pick. A question 2 for Brandon. It looks like the gameplay, is it traditional Survivor, Derek wonders, or is it kind of a mix?
It's Survivor. It's flat out Survivor. There's nothing else to add to that.
Let's see, a quick question for Matthew here. Kirk wants to know, is the twist this year going to shock players as much? I think just the cast reveal, which you did right now, is a complete shock to me already. So
I actually think, the twist is going to shock them more than last season. So I'm really excited for them to really just be in this element and get thrown these surprises and really figure out how to just get through it. So I'm really excited for the players to meet these twists and strategize on how to best go about them.
Very cool. I want to thank everyone for coming out here today. Brandon, Can You Survive? Shane from the Penthouse, Matthew from Mayhem Manor and Aunt Jackie's Productions, Jason from Survivor Angelica. Thank you for everyone tuning at home. Thanks for checking out. Thanks for the great questions. If you have any more information, just let us know. Just put it in the comments. One of these guys will definitely get back at you and with the information. Till then, we'll talk later about 2020 casting. So thanks again. All right. Bye, folks.
See ya.
Bye, guys.